It's Jamie again, and such a beautiful afternoon. I wanted to do another check on our bees. We've been keeping check on them. It's like March the 3rd, I think it is, and I want to see how they're building up. We've already got queen cells in and getting ready to start making splits. I just thought I'd take this warm afternoon and bring you guys along, and let's check a hive out and see how they're doing. All right, let's go see what we can find. Starting to lay here. Right there is the queen. I don't know if you can see her, but she's right there. She's got this area laid up, pollen and honey all around it. Several bees in this hive. So this one's looking pretty good. I'll keep her real gentle here, and we'll look at one more frame and see how that looks. Yeah, we can start to see the brood starting to pick up. It's got cat brood and then got brood that's laid up all the way around it on both sides. And then another frame of bees here. Plenty of honey, and they're storing all kinds of pollen and some open brood and some nectar they're already getting from somewhere. See the shiny of it, it's the nectar. And then there's almost 2 full frames of honey as well. So in about 2 or 3 weeks, this nuke will be ready to split. Yep, she's still there, and we're gonna drop her right back in where she was at. This is a nuke that we just left in a cardboard nuke. We actually covered it with an actual top later on in the winter as it got close, and it actually made it, which is kind of surprising. So let's see if we can find another hive to look at. So we're going to see if we can open it up without making them too angry. I run out of the house and left my hive tool, so it's not very smart. Still a little bit of honey left there. Bringing in some more nectar. And see, they're over here because of the honey that's still left from last year. They're working their way through it. See all this yellow is new pollen that's coming in. This is capped honey from last year. And then there's some new honey or nectar being brought in, and it could be the syrup that we're putting out for them to try to get them moving a little bit. And there's eggs all right here. I'm gonna put the camera close. I'm not sure you can see it or not, but see if we can get a picture of those eggs. Oh yeah, see? Right there's the queen. The queen is right there. And we're starting to get all of this brood pattern here and brood on this side, and it's got small larvae and different sizes of, see the queen right there? Different stages and sizes of larvae. And I'm sure there's some brood on one side of these. Yep. Honey, capped honey, pollen, and in the middle of that is the eggs and larvae. And they put the pollen around it so the worker bees can feed that pollen and honey to the larva that's growing. They need the protein from the pollen as well as the carbohydrate from the sugars to keep those baby bees going. So they're doing okay. Some of the bees, some of the hives have 5 or 6 frames of brood. This one's, you know, got 2 frames of partial brood. But surprisingly enough, in just a few weeks, that queen will take off. The first hatch or 2, she'll start laying like crazy, and it'll increase those numbers tremendously, super quick. So we looked at the smaller hives, I would call them. But one thing about the VSH is they go through the winter with a small cluster, with a smaller number of bees. They don't take or eat tremendous amounts of food. But then the VSH, they build up super fast during the spring as well. We could be just a little late on the red maple bloom, but they're starting to bring in some red pollen and some nectar actually from the red maple. That's an early nectar flow, and usually that comes in really quick and really heavy, and that helps the bees build up tremendous. Then there's a little lull in nectar flow, and then you get the tulip poplar and the blackberry and all the wildflowers start to bloom, and then that brings in the that flow, and that continues the growth of the bees. But those hives that we looked at, they have 2 or 3 frames of bees, and they're starting to extend that brood nest over into those 2 or 3 frames. You'd be surprised in the next week or 2 they'll have 3 or 4 frames of brood, and they'll fill out to full frames of brood. And once that first hatch happens, then they grow exponentially. It's just amazing how quickly they grow. And we'll actually, those 2 or 3 hives that we looked at that only have, you know, 2 or 3 frames of bees and brood, we'll probably split those into, I'd say before the summer's over, that one hive, those 2 or 3 frames will end up making 4 or 5 more hives out of each of them, or nukes that will turn into hives. We raise all our own VSH queens here and breed them to all our own VSH bees. And I don't know why I'm talking with this hood on. I can take it off now. But yeah, we raise all our own VSH queens and to go in our VSH nukes. Thanks for watching. I just wanted to bring you up, show you some of the bees getting started. I'm getting a little excited about bee time coming. We've done a lot of pigs and we've showed some goats, but we haven't got to do a lot of videos on bees. Things were almost wrapping up last year when I started the YouTube channel. And hopefully this year you'll get to see a whole lot more things that are honeybee oriented. So as always guys, thanks for watching, and we'll do it all again tomorrow.